probably going to be one of my shorter videos, but in case you don't know, this video will go over the differences between tri-fixtures, quad fixtures, and hex fixtures in the lighting world. Now, it's pretty much, if you know your geometry and you know your shapes and stuff like that, it's kind of easy to figure out what those names mean for different types of fixtures. So, generally speaking, because there are some special circumstances, but generally speaking, tri-fixtures come with 3 built-in colors: red, green, and blue. Quad comes in 4 built-in colors: red, green, blue, amber, or white. It'll depend. Sometimes, the manufacturer may decide the 4th color will be white or the 4th color will be amber. Hex is 6 built-in colors, right? So red, green, blue, white, and amber, as well as ultraviolet. Now, those are the colors that you usually will see, but at the end of the day, some fixtures, some manufacturers will have different colors for those tris, quads, and hexes. So all you really need to know is that a quad has 4, a tri has 3, and a hex has 6. So like right here, I have, these are hex fixtures. So each color that I talked about is here. So this is the red one. The light may look a little different on the camera, but this is the red light. This is the green light. That's the blue. There's white. Amber. And ultraviolet. These are hex fixtures that I have. That stand there are quad fixtures. So the built-in colors are red, green, blue, and white. Those are the 4 built-in colors for that fixture. And again, like the quad fixtures that you've seen on older videos, they had red, green, blue, and amber. So again, it depends on, who's making it. It might sometimes depend on the purpose of the fixtures. There are some studio lights, for instance, that are hex, but they have different shades of, like, half of the hex colors are shades of white. There'll be like a cooler white, a regular white, and a warm white. I know one of the fixtures I've seen like a few years ago, instead of like a regular green, it was called the mint green. So, there can be different colors associated, but as long as they are tri, quad, and hex, you're good. I haven't seen anything more than a hex, but with the power of color mixing, you can create, obviously, whatever color you're trying to create. So I highly doubt that a lot of these colors, a lot of these fixtures, I should say, are going to expand that much in terms of preset colors. The preset colors just allow you to have a base for color mixing. So the more colors that you have available, the more colors you can make. If you just have the red, green, and the blue, you can only make certain combinations with just those 3. But obviously, if you have some amber capacity, if you have some white, if you have some ultraviolet, you can do a lot of things. Now, primary colors of light are red, green, and blue. So out of those 3, you can create amber. Those 3 combined automatically make white. Ultraviolet is its own thing, kind of a combination of red and blue, but it's really its own kind of light that you can't necessarily create out of these. But, the idea is that, you can create any color with that as your base. But the ambers and the whites definitely help accelerate creating different colors and make it a little easier. So ultimately, is it worth buying a hex fixture, even though they're usually more expensive? Is it going to be worth it? It really depends on what you're doing. If you have plans to do a more involved show, like theater or something, you might want to consider going hex or quad. If all you're doing is really just illuminating the space, and there might be, like, if you're at a party, you might do some like color changing and strobing and stuff, you're fine with the tri fixture. You don't really need to go all out with any hex or anything. Like, these are going to be my uplighting type of deal. That's going to wash like any kind of stage that I may have or whatever. And so it's a very basic, simple fixture, because it's going to really have one job. Whereas these guys can serve to have multiple jobs. So I want them to be as flexible and fluid as possible. So depending on what you want, there really isn't a right or wrong way of handling it. It really depends on what you're trying to do. You may need a mixture of all types. You may need some tri fixtures, some quads, and some hexes. But it really all just depends on what you're trying to do. So that is it. Those are the fixtures and the different types of light associated with them. So yep, pretty straightforward, pretty simple stuff. Let me know if you guys have any questions. All kinds of links are in the description. And you all keep shining.